Your legs are not weak because you are aging. They are weakening because they are being underfed. For many people, especially after the age of 40 or 50, the first sign of decline appears in the legs. Standing becomes harder, stairs feel heavier, balance feels uncertain, and most people think this is normal. But the body does nothing without reason. The legs are the largest muscles in the body. They require the most nourishment, the most circulation, and the most minerals. When the body senses shortages, it reduces strength in the legs first to conserve energy for vital organs. Leg weakness is not a random event, and it is not simply the price of getting older. It is one of the earliest biological warnings the body gives when nourishment, circulation, cellular energy begin to fall behind demand. And science shows that the legs are always the first place. This imbalance reveals itself because they are the largest muscles in the body and the most expensive to maintain. Every step you take requires coordinated work between muscles, nerves, blood vessels, bones and mitochondria. And when even one of these systems begins to struggle, the body makes a decision that most people never realize is happening. It quietly reduces strength in the legs to conserve energy for survival. Research on aging consistently shows that muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, begins decades before most people notice it, often in the thighs and calves first, and by the time weakness is felt, significant muscle tissue has already been lost. This is not because the body is failing, but because it is adapting to shortages. Muscles are metabolically expensive, and when protein intake drops, mineral absorption declines, or circulation slows, the body reallocates resources to protect the heart, lungs, and brain, leaving the legs under-supported. Studies have shown that reduced leg strength is one of the strongest predictors of disability, falls, and even mortality, stronger than body weight or cholesterol levels, which tells us how central leg muscles are to overall vitality. Oxygen delivery is a major factor, because muscles cannot generate strength without oxygen, and iron deficiency, poor circulation, or shallow breathing all reduce oxygen availability, causing muscles to fatigue quickly, especially in the lower body where blood must work against gravity. This is why many people notice their legs feel heavy, shaky, or weak long before they experience pain, because weakness often comes from poor fuel delivery rather than structural damage. Magnesium deficiency plays another critical role, and research shows that magnesium is essential for muscle contraction and relaxation, nerve transmission, and energy production. Yet a large percentage of adults are deficient, leading to muscles that tire easily and recover slowly. The nervous system is equally important because muscles move only when nerves signal them to do so, and aging, stress, and nutrient deficiencies all slow nerve conduction, making movements less precise and balance less stable. Studies on neuromuscular aging reveal that nerve-muscle connections weaken earlier in the legs than in the arms, which explains why balance problems and leg weakness often appear before loss of hand strength. Circulation is another silent factor, because blood vessels supplying the legs are longer and more vulnerable to damage from inflammation, high blood sugar, and inactivity. And research using Doppler imaging shows reduced blood flow in the legs of individuals with early muscle weakness, even when heart function appears normal. When circulation decreases, nutrients cannot reach muscle cells efficiently, waste products accumulate, and muscles enter a low-energy state, conserving what little fuel they receive. Mitochondria, the energy factories of cells, decline with age and poor nutrition, and muscle cells in the legs contain a high density of mitochondria, making them particularly sensitive to mitochondrial dysfunction. Scientific studies link reduced mitochondrial function directly to muscle weakness and fatigue, and this decline accelerates when diets are low in protein, minerals, and healthy fats. Inflammation adds another layer, because chronic low-grade inflammation, often driven by processed foods, excess sugar, and stress, interferes with muscle repair and regeneration. Inflammatory signals tell the body that conditions are unsafe for growth. Under these conditions, the body prioritizes defense over strength, and muscle tissue is broken down faster than it is rebuilt. Hormonal changes also play a role, especially declines in growth hormone, testosterone, and estrogen, all of which support muscle maintenance. And research shows that these hormonal shifts disproportionately affect lower body muscle mass. What makes this process so deceptive is that it happens quietly, without dramatic symptoms at first, so people attribute early weakness to laziness, lack of exercise, or age. unaware that their body has been signaling a need for better nourishment and support all along. The shocking truth is that leg weakness is often reversible in its early stages because muscle tissue retains the ability to respond rapidly when conditions improve, and studies show that when protein intake increases, mineral deficiencies are corrected, and circulation improves, leg strength can increase within weeks. This rapid response is not a miracle, it is biology doing what it was designed to do when given the right inputs. The body is not designed to waste muscle without reason, and when it senses safety, nourishment, and adequate energy, it shifts from conservation back into repair mode. Leg muscles are highly adaptive, and research on rehabilitation and nutrition consistently shows that they regain strength faster than many other tissues when supported properly. The tragedy is not that legs weaken, but that people are rarely taught to recognize weakness as a message rather than a verdict. Weak legs are not a sign that life is ending. They are a sign that the body is asking for better fuel, better circulation, and gentler care. When these needs are met, the body responds with surprising resilience, even later in life. The most powerful realization is that strength is not built through force or punishment, but through cooperation with the body's biology. When nourishment improves, inflammation calms, and oxygen flows freely, the legs remember their strength, because that strength was never truly lost, it was simply placed on hold. Muscle does not disappear because the body forgets how to be strong, it disappears because the body stops receiving the signals that tell it strength is safe and necessary. And science now confirms that food and movement are the two most powerful signals the body understands, especially in the legs where muscle tissue responds faster than almost anywhere else. Research shows that leg muscles are uniquely sensitive to nutritional input because they contain a high concentration of insulin-sensitive muscle fibers, meaning the moment the right nutrients arrive, these fibers begin rebuilding almost immediately, which is why targeted food changes can restore leg strength far faster than people expect. Protein is the first signal because muscle tissue is constantly being broken down and rebuilt, and studies show that when protein intake drops below a critical threshold, muscle breakdown accelerates, particularly in the thighs and hips, but when easily digestible protein is restored, muscle protein synthesis increases within days, even in older adults. What shocks many people is that aging muscles are not unresponsive, they are underfed, and clinical trials repeatedly demonstrate that older adults experience similar relative gains in muscle strength as younger people, once protein and amino acids are adequately supplied. Minerals amplify this effect because muscles do not contract on protein alone, they contract through electrical signals, and magnesium, potassium, calcium, and sodium work together to allow muscles to fire and relax properly. Yet population studies show that magnesium deficiency is widespread and strongly associated with muscle weakness, cramps, and early fatigue, particularly in the lower body. When magnesium levels are restored through food, nerve conduction improves, muscle contraction becomes more efficient, and strength increases without added effort, a phenomenon documented in both athletic and geriatric research. Circulation is the next signal because nutrients are useless if they cannot reach the tissue, and studies using blood flow imaging show that gentle, regular movement dramatically increases blood delivery to leg muscles, even more effectively than intense exercise in deconditioned individuals. This is why simple walking, slow leg movements, and weight-bearing activity send a powerful message to the body that the legs are needed, prompting increased nutrient delivery and muscle repair. Shockingly, prolonged sitting has been shown to suppress muscle protein synthesis in the legs, even when protein intake is adequate, meaning food alone is not enough. Movement tells the body where to send the fuel. Nerve signaling completes the loop because muscles only grow when nerves consistently activate them. And research in neuromuscular physiology shows that slow, controlled movements improve nerve-muscle communication more effectively than fast or forceful ones, especially in older adults. This explains why gentle, intentional movement paired with nourishment restores strength faster than aggressive exercise programs that overwhelm weakened systems. Collagen and connective tissue support are often overlooked, yet muscles anchor into tendons and fascia, and studies show that weakened connective tissue limits force production, causing the body to restrict muscle output as a protective measure. When collagen-rich foods or mineral broths are consumed, connective tissue integrity improves, joints feel safer, and the nervous system allows muscles to generate more power, creating a rapid feedback loop of increased strength and stability. The endocrine system plays a quiet but essential role because hormones like insulin, growth hormone, and estrogen influence how muscles respond to nutrients, and research shows that balanced blood sugar dramatically improves muscle protein synthesis, while spikes and crashes blunt the muscle-building response. This is why pairing protein and minerals with whole foods rather than sugar accelerates strength recovery. Inflammation is the final gatekeeper, because chronic inflammation sends a signal that the environment is hostile, and under hostile conditions, the body suppresses growth in favor of defense. Studies show that anti-inflammatory diets rich in whole foods, minerals, and healthy fats reduce inflammatory markers and restore anabolic signaling, allowing muscles to rebuild. What makes this process so powerful is its speed, because unlike bone or cartilage, muscle tissue adapts quickly, and research demonstrates measurable improvements in leg strength and balance within weeks when nutrition and movement are aligned. This rapid improvement is not a miracle, it is the body returning to its default state, because strength is the body's natural preference when conditions allow. The psychological component cannot be ignored because fear of falling or injury alters movement patterns, reduces muscle activation, and weakens legs further, a phenomenon well documented in rehabilitation science. When confidence improves through gentle success and proper nourishment, muscle activation increases, balance improves, and strength follows. The most shocking truth is that many people are not weak, they are undersignaled. And once the body receives consistent messages of nourishment, movement, and safety, it responds with speed and precision. This is why targeted whole foods paired with daily gentle movement can reverse years of decline, because the body has been waiting for permission to rebuild. Leg muscles are designed for resilience, and studies of recovery consistently show that they regain function faster than expected when supported correctly. The tragedy is that people often wait until weakness becomes severe before taking action, unaware that early intervention produces dramatic results. When food delivers the right building blocks and movement directs them to the legs, strength returns not through struggle, but through cooperation. The body does not need to be forced into strength, it needs to be shown that strength is useful again. Once that signal is clear, the legs respond with stability, power, and renewed confidence, proving that decline is not inevitable, and that the body's capacity to rebuild remains far greater than most people are ever told.